Hello and welcome to the third annual Franklin's for our dumb podcast, the Twilight Highlight Zone. My name is Ben Hanson, and I'm joined by Jeff Cork.
Starting off strong. I like that. Just diminishing the effort that we put into this.
It is a stupid amount of effort. All right. So, the Franklins. This is our award show that we do at the end of every season of both the Twilight Zone and the pseudo season of the podcast. And so we're going to cover all of season 3 this time around.
Right. I think, first of all, I think the Twilight Zone, everyone in the Twilight Zone, why don't you give yourselves a hand? I think you deserve it. Everyone except for you, 4 o'clock. You can remain silent.
Please sit down, sir.
I can't tell if you're seated or not, but...
Yeah, there are a lot of episodes, so it's fun to go back and reread all of my notes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh my gosh, that was in this season? I completely forgot about that one. Stuff like The Mirror.
Yeah.
So we came up with some new categories.
Yes.
We have some returning champs
from
season 2 and maybe even some season 1 categories that are still in the fray. So we're going to run down. We haven't shown each other's nominations.
No, this is a sealed envelope. Representatives from Ernst & Young have come.
That's right.
They're standing behind us.
But we are going to debate and find out the winners.
Yes.
For every category here, including the best and worst episode.
There are
of
no
season
ties.
3. 0 ties.
No.
All right. The best twist.
Yes.
Best twist of season 3. What is your number 1 nomination, Cork?
Well, I do mine in no particular order.
Okay.
I'm just going to give a few examples of what I would consider to be the best twists.
Yes.
All right.
Number 1.
Number 1, just numerically, not categorically.
Okay.
When Jerry and Willie swap places.
Oh, boy.
In The Dummy.
You know what? I didn't even put that on my list, Cork.
All right.
My first one is the grave, him stabbing his own coat.
Okay. I didn't put that on mine either. How about the blowhard getting abducted by aliens in Hocus Pocus and Frisbee because they thought he was the greatest guy ever?
Interesting. I always think of the twist as in the final scene, and that kind of happens at the midpoint.
There are a lot of twists in that episode, but I think that's probably the biggest twist.
That's interesting. Yeah, okay. All right. That's a good one. I have the classic To Serve Man, and that falls in that camp of we knew it ahead of time, but you still got to recognize it. It's a pretty fun, solid twist.
Yeah. And this is another one. This episode had a lot of twists in it, but I'd say arguably my favorite twist in the episode, One More Pallbearer, is that he brings these people in and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely no one cares.
That's the twist, is the lack of enthusiasm.
About his bunker, and they want to go home with their families.
All right. I have Game of Pool, how he's imprisoned forever to go down and attend other people when they challenge him.
All right. And I have no more twists.
All right. I had Little People down as well, but
really,
yeah, just it's a gentle nod to Little People having the gigantic people at the end as the twist, but I don't think it's going to make the cut.
Okay.
All right. Which one are you really gunning for here?
I really think Jerry and Willie switching places is a fantastic twist, because I think that if you watch that, not knowing what's going to happen, you would think the guy is going to be driven insane or insaner, or that the doll would kill Jerry.
Right.
But the fact that he is able to switch places is a pretty spectacular twist.
It is a you would never see it coming, but I almost put it in that same camp as The Arrival. And that twist where their plane lands, and then it's like, oh, it was all mass suggestion, and this is because I didn't solve that case a long time ago, where it's just, you can't possibly predict it. You know?
And I think that sometimes not being able to predict a twist makes it.
But even when it's so far completely out of left field like this, where it's like, oh, of course he's going to switch places, and this dummy has magical powers the whole time.
Well, I don't think it's in the same league as, say, 4 o'clock. Okay. I like to pick on that one, when he suddenly shrinks for no reason other than the fact that he's able to will it into being. I think that is a crappy twist.
Are you sure it's just not so absurd and so funny looking that that's the reason you like it more than the merits of the twist itself?
I think it's super spooky.
God, I hope I don't wake up tomorrow as a mannequin.
Well, I hope that I don't have a mannequin, first of all, that I have a real personality conflict with.
Yeah, that's true.
I make mine goofy goggles. That's what I say. Although I will concede the twist in To Serve Man is a pretty iconic twist.
It's the most famous twist, probably one of the most famous twists in the Twilight Zone, maybe even number 1. throughout the entire series. But just, we know it, so it doesn't have that big of an impact. But it's that debate, too, because looking back on it, we want to give the nod to genuinely the best twist.
Right.
Just because we know it going in, does that diminish it?
I don't know.
Okay. I would fight through all these.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very passionate about it, but I would actually fight for the grave.
Really?
I thought, it's like, you knew he was going to go up there and plant the knife in that grave. You didn't know if a hand was going to come out. You didn't know if he was going to chicken out. You really had no idea what to expect. And then the twist of he stabbed his own coat and then gave himself a heart attack. So he ended up dying, even though there's nothing supernatural going on.
Right.
But then there's that extra little 0.25 twist of the wind was going in the other direction. So maybe there was something supernatural going on. That doesn't really factor in. It's just that the logical situation of him stabbing his own coat into the ground.
Now, do you think that a reasonable person could have predicted that?
Yes, because of the noise of that wind in that episode. Like when he first gets up there, that wind is just so over the top. They want you to think about it. And the fact that he's wearing the long coat.
Okay.
But I will concede, since I'm not that passionate about it, to the dummy.
Really?
Unless you want to have the debate between the dummy and To Serve Man.
I'm willing to do that.
Okay, what's your hunch on that?
To Serve Man is difficult just because I think most everyone knows it from the twist sandwich, that they had,
Right.
if such a thing exists, on the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Right.
Where they just kept stacking on it. But I mean, ultimately, most people are familiar with it from that.
Right.
So I think going into it, just even when you saw the title, we were both excited to see the episode,
Yeah.
but we knew what the ultimate punchline was going to be.
But when you look back on it, the best twist in all of season 3, I mean, it might have to be To Serve Man.
You think so?
I think you got to give it to it.
Yeah.
Give that classic episode its due.
Yeah, I think so too, and especially they kind of litter everything with clues. Even up to a very subtle thing when they have them walking on meat scales as they're stepping onto the UFO. So let's give it To Serve Man.
All right, Serve Man, congratulations. Yes. All right, moving on to the next category.
Most likable person.
We replaced last season best actor and worst actor.
Right.
With most likable and least likable person.
Exactly.
I stand by that.
I think it's a great decision.
Okay, who's your most likable person?
These are most likable. I've got 3 of them. I'll just go fast, okay?
Okay.
Fats Brown, a game of pool.
All right, not bad. I have Lincoln from Passerby.
Okay. Hyder Simpson from The Hunt.
Oh, boy, don't even get me started on The Hunt. I have Jesse James from Rance McGrew.
All right, and even though his nickname doesn't really hold up because we know what's really going on, Old Ben from The Fugitive.
All right, and then I have the guy on the radio in Midnight Sun who gave up and started saying, no one's listening. What does it even matter? I really like that guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
My number one out of this group, I was excited to see Lincoln, but I think the Jesse James character from Rance McGrew, I thought he was consistently fun throughout the entire thing. The fact that he was a 7-foot tall guy who ended up wearing the dumb beret as the agent at the end.
A Hawaiian shirt, if not
Yeah,
mistaken.
exactly. Yeah. I think he's my favorite character from season 3.
Yeah?
Yep. What about you?
He's pretty good, but I think Fats Brown is pretty good too. Even though I guess if I think about it, he mostly just sweats and looks puzzled. So maybe I'm going to talk myself right out of it. And I know you did not like The Hunt at all.
No.
But I liked that character a lot.
The old guy?
Yeah, he seemed very likable, which I think is what the category is, right?
If you're going to go for a likable old guy, I would go for the trade-in husband. I considered him more likable than...
Just because he's sick doesn't mean he's likable.
Dying on a poker table. All right.
The sympathy vote.
How are you feeling?
You didn't like Old Ben from The Fugitive? Was it the fact that the big reveal that he was actually a young, handsome prince kind of made him less...
A little creepy.
Kind of skeevy?
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, I liked the alien that he transformed into.
That was likable.
Yeah, but other than that, it was just I feel like it's that Twilight Zone cliche of the old guy that gets along with kids really, really well. It's like One for the Angels type of thing. And it's just, I'm kind of sick of that cliche at this point.
Okay, but he wasn't really an old guy who gets along well with kids.
Yeah, he was an alien that wanted to bang one of the kids.
Okay, maybe that's not likable when I think about it.
It's not great.
More.
I'm feeling really strong about Jesse James.
Jesse James, I think that's a solid choice.
All right, there we go. Jesse James, most likable character from season 3.
Yes.
All right, least likable person.
This is a tricky one.
It is tricky. There's a lot of unlikable people. My number one is the old man from Kick the Can, the old man that was the narc.
Yeah?
Yep.
He's not very likable. The Paul Radin, the jerk from One More Pallbearer, the guy who's the mastermind behind that.
All right. I have the obvious Nazi from Death's Head Revisited.
Gunther Lutz.
There we go.
Yeah. Oliver Krangle from 4 O'Clock, I think is not likable.
His name was, I guess it was Krangle, wasn't it? I have the theater critic from Piano in the House who kept bashing his wife and calling her an idiot and then insulting his fat sister.
Yeah. I have to say he was a complete a-hole, but I kind of liked him at the same time because he reminded me of the villain from Pete's Dragon, who's also a big a-hole, but
okay.
I don't know. Whatever.
Is that it?
That's it for me.
All right.
This one comes down to me. Oh, you've got one more?
No. Please, go ahead.
Okay, because there's two ways to approach this one, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Nazi wins by any reasonable standard, but I think here's our chance to kind of break the mold a little bit because he was relishing in all the stuff he was doing. I mean, he was really having a great time.
Yes.
With his memories of being a Nazi. So I don't want to diminish that at all.
Right.
Oliver Krangle was just awful. And this other guy, the Paul Radin guy from One
Here's the thing about Paul Radin from One More Pallbearer. He was a piece of S throughout that entire episode, but I think he was a fun piece of S. Like that entire episode, I actually liked him as the protagonist, trying to squeeze pity out of these other people.
Okay.
And I think he was fun to watch. Whereas 4 O'Clock, he was just a miserable character right out of the gate. His weird accent and just, it was a miserable viewing experience.
Yeah.
And again, not to diminish the Holocaust in any way, but we already had this debate with Hitler from season 1, I think.
Right.
Yeah. I'm okay with being a little absurd and giving it to Mr. Krangle.
Yeah. I remember at the time when we watched Death's Head Revisited, we were like, oh, well, this is going to be the least likable character, obviously.
But we could never have expected Mr. Krangle calling people up and complaining and his dumb parrot staring at him.
Yeah.
All right,
do we give it to him? Yeah.
Yep, you win or lose.
Now, we should also take particular caution to say this: we're not endorsing any Nazism.
No.
This isn't
or wishing for people to be short either, just on both sides of the coin.
No, absolutely not.
Let's move on.
Least likable person, us. Best couple.
This is a new category.
Yeah. I'll start it off.
Please.
How about that old couple in the trade-ins?
I also have the old couple in the trade-ins.
All right.
I also have Jerry and Willie from
That's
the Dummy.
my next one in my list.
All right.
Not Goofy Goggles.
Nope.
Sorry.
Nope.
And a young, handsome Charles Bronson and pretty lady in the episode 2.
The classic Ross and Rachel situation where they're shooting each other with lasers.
Will they or won't they?
Before they finally walk off down that lonely street in the post-apocalyptic world together. Yeah. Probably sterile, no doubt.
I certainly hope so.
I don't want those beautiful people mating. You know what? What are we even arguing? It's Jerry and Willie, right?
They're the best couple. Ultimately, they even switch bodies, which, I mean, so do the trade-ins, but they they totally switch bodies. They jump into each other's skin in a way. Really.
Yeah, this isn't sweetest couple. This is just best match. And I mean, he even has that little affair with Goofy Goggles. Turns out that's not going to go anywhere.
No.
You can't get away. This is your bride-to-be, baby.
Absolutely.
All right, Jerry and Willie. Best couple. All right, this is another fun category.
Yeah.
Did you do the last one?
I jumped the... Yeah.
I don't care.
You could do this one.
All right. Best title. Best episode title.
This is just solely on the title. Right?
I think title in context of what the episode is.
Okay.
And there's one that makes me say that.
I've blown it.
Number one, maybe it's the song, but I really like I Sing the Body Electric as the name of an episode.
Hocus Pocus and Frisbee. I like that title.
Oh, interesting.
It makes me interested. These are titles that I'm curious to learn what the episode is about. Okay. That's kind of the criteria I used. Maybe we if we were on speaking terms when we're not doing this podcast, we probably could have discussed this a little further.
Not good. All right. On that front, I have one that I think the title's okay, but I think in the context of the episode, just like you said, it works better. The Fugitive. Where it's like I was expecting something with Harrison Ford, and I get a weird old alien playing with kids.
This episode stunk, but Cavender is coming. Who is Cavender? Why is he coming? Where is he coming from? Where is he going?
Cork, I got some surprises coming up, but
Okay.
I'll save that later.
All right.
My next one is the classic To Serve Man.
Yeah.
Just putting it right out there.
There's the ending. They may as well say there's a gremlin on the wing.
Exactly.
It's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
5 characters in search of an exit, I think, is an excellent
I
title.
do like that one. It also reminds me of The 4 of Us Are Dying from season 1, which I always like that.
This is one more,
title a
though,
lot.
so that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
I also like the title, too. I think it's very simple.
Yeah. That's true. Starting out the season, just 2.
2.
That is cool. I think maybe it's just The Last of Us that makes me think of. I Sing the Body Electric.
That is a good title. And especially because it doesn't make any sense unless you're familiar with the works of Walt Whitman. And then they dumb it down for people like me who aren't.
Yes.
Because I remember the title from just that short story.
Right.
And then, they put it in context, which is always helpful.
Yeah, for sure. So you'd take that over
I would
too?
take that, yeah.
All right. I Sing the Body Electric.
All right.
Number
I'm
one title.
going to break from convention here. I'm doing worst title. I'm just going to go through mine, okay, real quick.
Yeah.
Worst title. It's a toss-up between The Mirror, The Grave, The Shelter, The Arrival, The Fugitive, The Hunt, The Jungle, The Gift, and The Dummy.
Well, Kirk, on mine, I have Hocus Pocus and Frisbee and Cavender is Coming.
Really?
Which you mentioned in the previous episode.
Interesting.
I also have A Piano in the House.
You don't like that title?
I think it's the dumbest title. As much as I hated that episode, just that title is so lazy. It's just no intrigue, no nothing.
It's the To Serve Man. It's kind of, though. I mean, it should be called a demonic player piano in the room.
In the living room,
It's
next to the rug.
Yeah. Don't play this piano. It will play you.
So, outside of your joke, do you really hate any of those in particular?
I think they're not great names. Considering that I think the gulf between what they have, what I would consider a good name in the Twilight Zone, and then these, I think it's pretty. You could drive a truck sideways through it.
So if you had to pick one,
The worst. Let's see. I think The Gift. Maybe The Dummy. The Dummy's kind of an insult when you think about it. Are we the dummy? Is the audience?
I think the drunk's the dummy. I think that's the whole point.
No, I'd say The Gift is a really lame title.
God, it's inoffensive. It's lame, but they're going for ambiguity. Mm-hmm. It doesn't strike me. And since you had these on your best title, I mean, unless you're willing to budge on Hocus Pocus and Frisbee, which is clearly the dumbest title.
I think it's great.
Oh, God. All right, Hocus Pocus and Frisbee. Cavender is Coming. Really? For a story about an angel?
That's what I said. This is independent of the episode. Because once you learn who Cavender is, I don't care where he goes. No longer interested.
All right, Piano in the House. How are you feeling about that one?
It's kind of corny too. But at the same time, there's a little bit of intrigue. Because, I mean, the Twilight Zone, it's more than a piano, right?
I guess. It's a magical piano.
Yeah.
All right, so you would take The Gift?
I would take The Gift. What do you think?
But that's like, is it going to be a magic gift? Is it going to be a physical gift? Turns out it's kind of both.
Mm-hmm. How about I know you said you liked The Fugitive, but maybe the fact that it was a television program, was that before?
That would be after.
Okay.
Yeah. What else you got on that list? There's got to be another one.
The Shelter.
Yeah.
The Grave. The Grave's pretty lame.
I like The Grave.
Yeah. The Mirror.
Yeah, you're right.
I guess these are all just elements of each episode, which it's not their fault. But at the same time, you could have come up with something better for The Mirror. For instance.
When in doubt, you just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay giving it to The Mirror.
Yeah? Let's do it.
All right. Screw you, Mirror.
All right.
Worst title of season 3.
All right.
All right. Next category is a fun one. This is recommended from somebody in the comments. I forget who they were. I'm sorry.
We'll add it in post.
Yeah. Most Serling-y episode.
Mm-hmm.
Rod Serling at his most Rod Serlingest.
And I think when I hear that, I think kind of ham-handed, a little preachy.
Yes.
Means well.
Uh-huh. Clumsy preachy.
Preachy.
Yes. All right. My number 1, I have The Shelter.
Okay. The Mirror.
Yep, that's up there. I have A Quality of Mercy, the World War II one.
Yep. The Little People.
Okay. Yep. I'm out. I got those two.
And The Gift. is another really Serling-y one. I didn't think about the quality Mercy, but I think that's a really Serling-y one.
Are you willing to give it to that? Just the World War II theme again. Oh boy, turns out if you can see into the enemy's shoes, we're all the same on the inside.
At the same time, I think the little people really just hammers home. Here's a writer who knows people who were affected by McCarthyism, and like this is his way of showing how evil it is. And it's just this buffoon who's just like the biggest jerk. You know what I mean? Just like demonizing a perspective that probably deserved to be taken to
Are
task.
we talking about little people or 4 o'clock here?
Oh, 4 o'clock. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I was thinking about the little person
Oh
at the
my
end
God.
of 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
4 o'clock.
That was
I'm
super
sorry.
confusing. Okay.
No, Little People's great. I like that episode.
Okay, 4 o'clock. Yeah. I think that one. Little People. I don't think was written by Serling, but I think 4 o'clock was.
Yeah.
The reason
Quality of Mercy, though, at the same time, it is like a war stinks.
It's another War
episode.
Stinks episode. Yeah,
which
exactly. But the thing that leans me towards The Shelter,
in
a way, it's repeating themes that he's already expressed several times on the Twilight Zone. But
That's
also,
true.
I don't know if you remember, but at the end, that's the one where he got really up his own ass.
Oh,
and he said, "There's no moral here.
Yeah.
No lesson. It's just people being people."
Yeah.
That's what really put me over the edge.
Did he say presented without commentary?
I think
at
that's
that
what
one
it was.
too?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's give it to The Shelter.
All right, The Shelter.
I do like The Shelter. I think it's a great episode.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoy that. But I mean, it definitely
Reeks.
is a really Serling-y episode.
It's sad because like we're both like, oh yeah, Rod Serling's a genius, but at the same time, like the most Serling-y, and it's like, oh boy, The Shelter. I don't know how that works. All right, what's the next one?
Least funny episode.
Another new category.
Yes.
All right, what do you got?
First of all, Cavender is coming.
Yep. I got that on my list. I have Once Upon a Time, which was the 1880s, fast forwarding 1961.
Death's Head Revisited.
I also
It's not very funny.
Not funny at all. Those are
No.
the 3 I had.
Yeah, that's those are the ones I had as well.
So here's the thing: do we take this seriously again, or I think you have to
Because
give
I think
it?
Death's Head Revisited was not intended to be funny. So I mean,
Right. That was our attempt at it.
that would be like saying worst mustache and giving it to Carol Burnett because she does not have a mustache.
Exactly. All right. At that point, I would give it to the episode that clearly tries the hardest to be funny, and that's Once Upon a Time.
Okay, here's the deal
Yeah.
with that episode. When it's presented like a silent movie, it was corny, but I thought it was funny.
It was fine.
I thought it was funny. But then once they entered the world of talkies, it was not funny.
Where he kept locking himself into like the sarcophagus in the shop.
There was a vacuum cleaner gag like 3 times.
Bunch of weird fat guy humor.
Policeman
Yeah.
chasing up and down the street at regular speed is not as funny as when it's like a hand cranked camera speed.
And I know you really hated Cavender is Coming,
Yeah.
but you got to admit there was much more effort, and Serling really thought he probably had something that was hilarious with Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. I do feel bad about kind of sticking it to that episode, but I think that like this was like a chance for them to get Buster Keaton.
Yeah.
Which, and I think like, again, like the physical humor at the very beginning was funny, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's like
concede.
it's like when Jim Carrey comes back and does like Yes Man or something. It's just like, no.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and stay away from comedies for a while.
All right. So what's our verdict?
I go Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time.
All right, next one, dude.
Next one. Biggest ripoff of a previous episode.
This doesn't have to be season 2. This is season 1 and 2 combined.
Absolutely.
All right, what do you got?
I'm going to say Cavender is Coming and Mr. Beavis. This is the obvious one.
The obvious one.
Yep.
I have Still Valley and Elegy.
Okay. This one is, it's kind of like 2 sides of a coin. So maybe this isn't really in the spirit of the thing, but I think that The Shelter and One More Pallbearer, it just seems like, let's put some people in a shelter, see what happens. I mean, and again, everything is like a complete.
It's so different, though.
Yeah.
I have The Shelter with Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
Well, that's probably, yeah. I mean,
Just the weird external threat, perceived threat, and they all lose their mind.
right.
I also have The Arrival and a combo of Last Flight and King 9 Will Not Return.
Ah, yep.
But do you have any more?
No.
I mean, you can't beat Cavender's Coming and Mr. Beavis.
It's impossible.
It is the exact episode.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That was an easy one. Cavender's Coming is the biggest ripoff of a previous Twilight Zone episode. There we go.
True.
All right, next category. This one is best smashing through glass.
Yes.
Or best jumping out of a window. We don't know how to frame that.
Yeah.
How to frame that window. All right, I have the mirror being thrown out of the balcony.
Yes. Yep. The bus driver in Cavender's Coming is pretty great.
I have bus driver from Cavender. I'll also put down Carol Burnett crashing into her boss's office in Cavender's Coming.
Yep.
Do you have any more?
Yes, I have one more.
What's that?
The guy escaping the psychiatrist's office in Person or Persons Unknown is a good one.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. But just for the absurdity of it, I'm going to have to really fight for bus driver in Cavender's Coming.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's no question that one goes to it.
I mean, it is, when we saw that Person or Persons Unknown, I remember talking about like, well, that's just complete. There's no need for that. Why would he ever jump through that glass?
It was great that he did it. I was pleased.
No one was displeased with it.
No.
Yeah, but at the same time, the bus driver is really the ultimate. Absolutely no reason to jump through that
That was the only
glass.
funny gag, I think, in the episode.
Yeah, exactly. All right, bus driver from Cavender's Coming. There we go.
All right. Now, this category is biggest waste of a gift.
Now, you'd think that you'd have the gift in here.
Who knows?
Okay.
All right. My first one is going to say even though we don't exactly know what this gift is, the fact that they didn't like sit around and try to dissect it more, I think this would have pleased you. The piano in the house.
But again, like, what is that? It reveals things.
That's what I'm saying. They could have spent more time with it.
All right. I have the trade-ins. Immediately giving up your entire youth just to go back and die with your old broad.
Yeah. How about being a huge financial success and being completely awesome, even though you're kind of an asshole, and one more pallbearer, and you have nothing better to do with your life than to like bring back your grade school teacher and a bunch of other people that like barely had ultimately had a real impact on your life.
He can create this amazing home entertainment system down there, and he wasted on that. Yeah. I have the fugitive, old Ben, the genie, alien guy.
Yep.
Just he can summon anything out of the blue, and all he does is play baseball with kids.
Yep, that's pretty good. How about Anthony in It's a Good Life?
I also have Anthony.
Basically, anything he does, he's made so many poor choices.
This kid was born with the most amazing power, and maybe when he's older, he can really play with it and adapt it and use it for good, but he just immediately uses it for evil. It's either evil or just he's going for something neutral and it ends up being negative.
Yes.
Those are his two capabilities.
Exactly.
And he's also, there's so many people in the Twilight Zone that can just summon and do whatever they want. And he's another one where it's like, he has unlimited power.
Right.
All right. I also have Once Upon a Time having the time machine hat and not using it, just like using it once, then like, okay, let's go back to our times. But they could go all the way up to like 1990. Is that what it was?
Yeah, exactly.
That's and they don't explore it at all.
It would have been so confusing.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen their interpretation of 1990.
It would have been awesome. We should make a fan edit that then looks like a 90s film. Just
and
like
they'd be
VHS.
drinking like Orbits that drink with the little gelatin things in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I would say because there was no indication that this guy actually had this gift, if he was a nice guy, if he was like, at 4:00,
okay,
world peace, and everyone is going to be totally happy.
But then he only ends up giving himself world peace. I don't know how that works.
But I mean, he's got such force of will that he's able to make
apparently
people or himself shrunken. I don't know. It seems like there's some kind of gift there.
I don't know. Let's scratch it.
Okay.
Is that all you got?
Yeah.
I mean, the most powerful person here.
Oh, Anthony.
Anthony is the god.
Yes.
But at the same time, I feel like I'm rooting for pallbearer.
Yeah.
Because it is the biggest waste. Anthony, it's like he's young, he doesn't know any better. He was kind of born a little bit evil and mischievous, and his whole life has been corrupted. This pallbearer guy has had to work to get where he is.
Yes.
And he wastes it on the dumbest crap by building this little shelter way down below New York City.
And it drives him to madness because nobody cares.
Also, I mean, he doesn't seem like the type of guy who has a family.
Right.
And he clearly lost his mind. Who knows where that fortune's going to, because he can't spend it the rest of his life. He's probably going to end up dying because his mind's shattered.
Tony Stark raving mad.
Exactly. Good job. So I would root for one more pallbearer.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Sorry, Anthony.
Biggest jerk with a gift would be Anthony.
Yes.
But
yes.
biggest waste of a gift, I think, would be one more pallbearer for sure.
All right. This is a category you were really passionate about. Worst voice / accent.
All right.
This was made for one person, so I'll let you say it.
No, it's not.
Wow. Okay.
There are several people with terrible accents this season.
All right.
Goofy Goggles. Which basically you could have gotten rid of goggles, and it's a really subpar goofy accent.
All right. I have your beloved clown from 5 Characters Searching for an Exit.
Yeah, you didn't like that one?
Nope.
Every single person in the mirror.
Yep, even the crowd outside, the collective accent was horrible. I have the sister from The Grave, the one who kept laughing like a maniac.
Yeah, she's good. Everyone in The Gift, with the exception of the alien, which is, I don't know.
All right, I have the other voices that you could choose from I Sing the Body Electric.
Oh, yeah.
I Sing the Body Electric.
I sing the body electric. And Little Girl and Little Girl Lost.
Yeah, this is the one that I felt like you made the category for.
I really didn't like, the mirror was distracting.
But you knew that it was Columbo.
Yes.
I didn't know that. And I'm too much of an idiot to have seen that. And so it didn't strike me as grating. Because you were expecting the Peter Falk voice, that whole time.
I don't know. I think I gave it a fair shake. It seems like I didn't know the other actors, and everyone seemed like, if you told me, well, everyone else in the episode is from Cuba, I would have said they did a bad job doing a Cuban accent then.
Can I include you singing I Only Have Eyes for You as Goofy Goggles?
All right. Okay. The Little Girl and Little Girl Lost, though, they could not. I mean, that's a fundamental part of the episode. That's the only way this character is developed.
Yeah.
Is through her voice.
Yeah.
And she just fails. It sounds like Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
All right. I'll give it to Little Girl Lost.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, little girl.
Stay lost. Get lost. All right. This is my favorite category.
Yes, this is a really good category.
I think about this category more than any other throughout the entire season. And this is most aggressively mediocre episode.
Yeah.
Not worst episode.
Not best episode. This is like
middle, just forcing itself to the middle of that road so well that it's almost forgettable. It's like a body temperature bath. It's you can't feel it.
This
not
is the
cold,
one
it's
where,
not hot.
Like when you look at the list of episodes, I was like, really? I had to like click on like links to some of them. Like, what?
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
No.
Okay. What's your number one?
Nothing in the Dark.
All right. I like that one, but okay. I have The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank.
Mm-hmm. The Arrival.
Yeah. I feel like that one started out so strong. I have Still Valley, the Civil War one with the Devil's Book,
and The Gift.
Boy, The Gift I really hated. I have The Mirror in here, and then I have the one that I'm really gunning for.
Yeah.
Person or Persons Unknown. It's to the point that I watched that a couple weeks ago. I barely remember it. It wasn't bad. I think I ended up giving it a 5.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I would say that for me, the only interesting thing about The Arrival is that Serling talks it up so much at the very beginning. Because his intro is talking about how it's like a puzzle and you're going to be getting some of the pieces.
But it was, we talked about it. I really liked how it was just that completely logical world and then just this one twist and everybody was handling it completely as they would. And like, I feel like it started out high and then just the twist was so stupid that it just descended. Yeah. So like that roller coaster ride makes it not aggressively mediocre to me. Maybe averages out that way, but not when I look back on it.
Okay.
How did you feel about The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank?
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
What was the other one you said that you're like the one you're really gunning for?
Person or Persons Unknown.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's not. I think this is one that could definitely be an instance of like at the time and at the place. Like we talked about when we first were discussing the episode, like the concept of a dream sequence. I don't know if that was novel
Right.
in the early 60s.
Uh-huh.
But like at least as a viewer now, which is all I can do now is watch it with my eyes, it seems like a story that I would just make up as I was talking. And then
Improv a story.
Then people would just kind of go, so your turn.
Guy desperate to prove his identity.
Yeah, I think I would go with that.
Then the completely numb twist at the end of, oh, now his wife is a different person.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was such a mediocre episode that it took me way longer than it should have to register that we didn't recognize the actress after she took her facial cream, because I was like, why is he reacting that way?
Yeah.
Is that her? Oh, probably not. Whatever.
I guess that's a different word. All right. Person or persons unknown.
Yeah.
Most aggressively mediocre and therefore maybe most forgettable episode from season 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Worst episode. My number one, The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank.
Oh, well, that you should have been fine for that. All right. I have The Hunt.
4 o'clock.
Oh, boy, that's going to be tough to beat. All right. I have one that you liked, Piano in the House.
Okay, I know you did.
I still hate
You really
Piano in
didn't
the
like that
House.
one. I think Cavender is coming. Because, I mean, if you're...
Wasn't the funniest thing. I don't know about worst thing. I guess like if you showed that to somebody else, like, hey, this is the Twilight Zone, they'd be like, okay, that's all right. Whereas if you showed them some of these, I think they would say, this is garbage. I don't ever want to watch this again.
I think unlike Once Upon a Time, which I think
Yeah.
had its moments until they introduced sound,
Yeah.
Cavender is coming just was a failure on all levels to me, except for the bus driver.
There were moments when Carol Burnett was kind of cute, when she was really hamming it up, kind of doing her wacky smile towards the camera type of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like, okay, I can see why people like her.
Mhm. But
so
that doesn't save the episode. I mean, it's at best, it is a copy and paste job of a previous episode, which I mean,
Yeah.
you're starting
That
off on
sucked.
pretty shaky ground to begin with.
Do you think that's a stronger contender for this category than 4 o'clock?
I'm torn with 4 o'clock. On one part, I simultaneously like the ending is just so absolutely ridiculous and stupid that it makes me like a little bit of it. But the fact that like Cavender is coming, it's the same episode. You know what I mean? Like it is the same thing happens.
But it's with a much more likable protagonist than Mr. Beavis.
It's just like a recast, though. You know what I mean? It's like a better remake. I don't know.
But
Oh, okay, how about this? I'm getting off track.
Yeah.
The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank. As I was watching that,
yeah,
I was thinking, this one absolutely feels like they have no idea what they want to do with it. It didn't make any sense.
it doesn't make any sense is pushing it, I think.
No, I would say it doesn't make any
The
sense.
ending twist of the Congress thing doesn't make any sense.
No, and up to and including that, I would say. It just felt like this meandering journey that went nowhere, and then they realized it, and they were like, given the choice between not airing it and just making a joke about Congress, we'll do that, and then we'll have another episode next week, and perhaps people will have forgotten. I think that the episode's terrible.
He's a demon?
Possibly. He's able to... I mean, maybe that's we need to rethink biggest waste of a gift. I mean, he's got a match at the end of his finger. That would have been a good category. Best finger. Like the finger, the match, he could light his finger on fire, and then
who else?
I sing the body electric. Kite finger.
The whole
Old kite finger. Anyway, we're totally off track. This episode stinks, and I absolutely hated it.
worst episode of season 3, you think?
In my opinion,
Jeff
yes.
Myrtlebank.
I think so, yeah. What are you fighting for?
I would fight for Piano in the House.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say anything else that I haven't already said on this show, other than
You just didn't like the way that it, yeah.
I think it was one of those things too where I was super tired and jet lagged while watching it,
Yeah.
and that probably made it a much worse viewing experience.
Okay. Can we give it to 4 o'clock? Even though as much as I love, in a way, the little twist at the end, it is the dumbest thing.
It is just dumb, and
I'm glad that I have seen it. If you told me that I have to watch it again, I
Yeah.
would not want to do that. I would say this is not going to be
But
pleasant.
if I said, Jeff, get in this room, let me close the door. Here comes Jeff Myrtlebank's adventures.
I don't want to do that either. There's a lot of bad options here.
I can live with giving it to 4:00. I don't think I could.
Yeah.
I don't think I could settle with either Myrtlebank or Cavender.
Okay.
4:00. I'm okay giving it to.
Okay.
All right. 4:00.
Let's do it.
Worst episode.
Yep.
Season 3. All right. Best episode.
Best episode.
What do you got?
It's a Good Life, of course.
I also have that. I have The Jungle.
The Jungle. Okay.
We haven't talked a lot about The Jungle
Right.
this way through, but I still think The Jungle is one of my favorites.
That's a
of the
pretty
season.
fun episode. Yeah. The Dummy.
Boy, no. I
Okay.
have Little Girl Lost.
Little Girl Lost.
I like that one a lot.
In keeping with that theme, The Little People.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fun episode.
It is super fun. You're right. This is another slam dunk.
This one for me, it's a Good Life, right?
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
I know you gave The Dummy a 10.
Yeah.
Just think about the fact.
I gave It's a Good Life a 10 as well.
I know. I want you to just sleep. Go to sleep tonight thinking about the fact that you gave The Dummy the same score as It's a Good Life.
How about this? I will lay the 1 in that 10 horizontally, and I'll rest my head on the 0 like a pillow.
You dissect numbers every time.
I have a problem. It's a Good Life. I love The Dummy. I think it's a fantastic episode. I stand by that 10. I don't question it at all. It's a Good Life. Absolutely incredible. Everyone should watch that episode.
I'd be surprised if any episode tops it in season 4 and 5.
It's going to be tricky.
It's interesting. I mean, looking at season 5 just on the Hulu queue, there's a couple episodes where it's like, okay, that's a famous one. That's a famous one. Season 4, I have no idea what to expect.
Black hole. I think probably because a lot of it is just not aired on television in reruns, like through syndication, because it's an hour long.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Well, I wonder if like on the, was it Spike who has that Twilight Zone marathon? I wonder if they do hour ones.
I would imagine during the marathon they would, but just in regular, like they wouldn't put back-to-back Twilight Zones more than likely.
Right.
To accommodate that.
Yeah, but still, I've seen one before, but outside of that, like you said, it's the black hole. So it could be some dark times up ahead.
Right. But back to It's a Good Life.
Yeah.
I know you'd mentioned that it's based on a short story.
Yeah.
I need to read that short story. I'm definitely curious about that. And then you'd also said that at one point, Rod Serling wanted to make
that script,
a script for a movie.
Yeah.
Based on it. And I don't know if there's like any way to track any of that down.
We should. I mean, you said there's the remake, and then there's the one from the 2000s.
Oh, the remake is terrible.
I want to watch. We should have like a bonus It's a Good Life episode where we cover all that.
We'll do Twilight Zone the movie. That'll be
Yeah.
an episode. I mean, that'll be after we're done with season 5.
Yeah. But then we could both read the short story and just take the deep dive into It's a Good Life. And that'd be a good opportunity to get like some other people in on this, like get like Tim down here
Yeah, we'll see.
to watch all those. Or, I like you too, Cork and all. But I mean, you argued right when we reviewed It's a Good Life that it's the best one, that it beats When the Sky Was Open from season 1.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Yeah, I think When the Sky Was Open is really cool, and it stands out because I didn't know anything about it. But yeah, I just don't think you can beat It's a Good Life.
No, it is absolutely incredible.
I keep thinking back to that scene where the drunk guy who just wanted to listen to Perry Cuomo is screaming. He's like, do something. Like he's focused on me right now. Take this guy out. Like, he is sacrificing his life for the group, and no one does it.
The one person like vaguely reaches for like the fireplace poker,
right?
but the
and
hands
just
kind of
gives up, and just everybody's a coward.
Yeah,
they're so scared of this kid, and no one will ever make that move in that town ever again. They're all just gonna die.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
All right, hey, It's a Good Life.
It's a good life. You did real good.
All right,
with hosting this thing.
Hey,
real
thanks.
Good.
You did a real good job covering season 3, dude.
Thank you. What a good season overall. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, everyone was saying it sucked. Season 3 was great.
Yeah.
It's maybe the strongest yet. I also want to do like a weird numbers breakdown where I find like the average score from me for each season to find out what I thought was the strongest one.
Yeah.
But this is a real contender.
Yeah. Do that for me too, because I'm lazy.
Okay, yeah, I'll go back and listen to all
Thank
these
you.
and find your dumb numbers, which I think you just make up on the spot.
I think you're wrong. I actually can produce all the scratch paper.
Just old receipts scribbled on the back of it.
Possibly. There you
Thank
go.
you very much for tuning in to season 3's The Franklins.
Yeah.
We need to take a little break. We're going on a trip, actually. That's the main reason we're going to take a little break.
Right.
And then when we come back, weeks down the road, we're going to kick off season 4.
And just for people who are wanting to prepare ahead of time, since season 4, like we've mentioned time and time again, is each episode is an hour long. We're going to be doing this in 3 episode blocks. It's kind of puts us in an awkward spot, but yeah.
I think that works. Yeah, if we cover 3. And
there's only 18 episodes, I believe.
Well, that sounds easy, Cork. We're going to fly through this.
6 episodes, done.
God, those stinkers are going to be really painful.
It is going to be brutal.
It's going to be a long... The second that an hour-long episode opens, and it's just Western or Civil War setting, you just have to sit there and take it. For the sake of the podcast.
Yeah, there's no escape.
All right, but hey, tune in. It'll be a real fun time.
Yahoo!
All right, we'll be back in a couple weeks with the beginning of season 4. Twilight, Highlight, Twilight Zone.